Um, I just wanted to let you guys know they're still doing the same thing. What they seem to be doing is connecting to public Wi-Fi. So, like when I'm in on the bus, it picks up on the PA, and I guess they still have people following me. And also now, when I'm in the hospital, I still hear the talking. So, what I'm wondering is, for those of you guys who are victims, are you still being followed around? I only hear it when it's picked up on like uh, you know, the Wi-Fi. So are you guys still being followed? Are you still hearing it in other places? Because I feel like if it's being used in a public setting, it's a different form of harassment. So in my apartment, it's one form of harassment. The second part of harassment is if it's in a public place, it's a different form of harassment. So they're both harassment. So they're concerned now that they said that if I take them to court, their witness isn't going to be credible. Well, my question is this, to anyone out there. If or when I take them to court for all of this, why would they need a witness about that wouldn't be credible? Why wouldn't they just use whatever reasoning they did for this harassment? I don't understand why they would need a witness who isn't credible. So my thought is, well, if you're going to try to justify harassment, stalking, hitting me with things, then you wouldn't use a witness who isn't credible. You'll use whatever other means. And that's my point. I think when this whole thing started with them, they felt that they could slowly kill me and it wouldn't be, I guess, an issue, because they keep saying, we don't care about you. We don't give a shit about you. You mean nothing to us. Well, then why waste your time killing me? I mean, I don't get it. Like, I'm not understanding their reasoning, because if I'm worthless, I mean nothing, then why kill me? They said, well, they don't trust me with the knowledge that I have. Knowledge of what? So they spent, as you guys know, so much energy telling me stuff. And that's when, I started doing the schemy scammy videos where they're telling me things. So why would you tell someone you don't trust things and then say, we don't trust you? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So what I'm saying is, I did all of this publicly because I wanted it to be public so that they couldn't keep changing their stories. Well, today they're starting to change their story again. And that's part of why when I was doing these videos all along, you have when it was said. So I don't have to kind of try to say, well, I did the videos as they were saying these things. So for them now to try to change their stories, I don't get it. I mean, I'm not understanding why people who don't care about me spent all this money to make money off me, and then they want to kill me off now because I know too much and they don't trust it. Well, it doesn't make any sense. It's still not making any sense. So I'm saying this publicly to people. When I take them to court, they won't have to use a witness who isn't credible. They can use whatever other evidence they have against me, just like I have evidence against them. The second part of that is, if they use this in a place like on the bus or in a hospital, that's a big problem. And that's my point. If it's in my apartment, that's one problem. On a bus, that's another problem. In a hospital is another problem. And that's part of what I'm saying. It doesn't seem like they really thought about this situation the way they should have. If they keep saying, well, you also have the book for proof. Yeah. You also have the letter for proof. Yeah. But that's something separate. This other thing is more important. The fact that they would put this on a bus, put this out in a hospital or in a place of business. So they say, oh, what about at the bank? That's what I'm saying. Anytime this goes out in a business, it's a problem. I deserve my privacy. They said they were giving people my account numbers. That's part of why they wanted me to lose my account so that they could cover it up. So we have a huge problem in my case, because there is a book, there is a letter, there are businesses involved. And then, of course, there are marks on my body that match up with what they're saying out loud so that other people hear it. The other thing they said is that they made sure to have other people recording the broadcast the right way. Like, my recordings of the broadcast sound weird. But if people are recording the broadcast as they're talking and it's being broadcast the right way, then those are also people who are firsthand witnesses to what's going on. So that's part of what I'm saying. So those are the main issues. The bonus for this is I didn't do a everybody does that, and I didn't do an interpretation of the day. They said those are corny. We don't like that. Well, I guess you would think it's corny and wouldn't like it if it's talking about you. So I'm going to do an everybody does that. Here's the issue. The issue is, as I'm on the bus, they're saying that I used to get into a lot of arguments and fights on the bus. That's not true. But as a 49-year-old who's lived in New York all my life, there are interactions every single day. Everybody does that. If you go to New York, there are always going to be interactions, good and bad, in New York. That's just how life is. So everybody does that. And I think what they wanted to do, they said they wanted to present me as some sort of like a person who's very shy and not outgoing, because that would have made it easier for them to in court to present, well, didn't you ever? No, if I'm as myself, a native New Yorker, 49-year-old woman, and you present like, didn't you ever have someone on the bus? Then it's ridiculous. It just becomes ridiculous. And that's my point. So they said they don't want me talking about these things on camera because then a lawyer can take it and twist it. No, they couldn't. That's my point. It seems like I'm dealing with a group of people who don't want to admit and acknowledge the truth. This was all based on lies. This was all designed to hurt me with something, kill me, and then come up with a reason for it after I got too sick and it became noticeable. The other point I wanted to make, the other bonus I want to make about this is that if you're going through this, did you guys go to court about it? Did you, because I know who's doing it, and that's my point. I know who's behind this, and I keep saying it. And the more they keep trying to say, well, maybe it's this or that, the more obvious it is that the people doing it are the ones I said. They even said it out loud. I mean, that's part of what I'm saying. If you acknowledge out loud that you're the ones doing it and people know and they have firsthand knowledge that you're doing it, then what you're doing is allowing me to be able to get those people in court and talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about this other stuff that they're trying to come up with because it's not true and it's not based on firsthand knowledge. And that's my point. I think that was part of why they were trying to constantly get me upset so that they could have firsthand knowledge of something. But I think it's also this whole AI thing where as I'm moving my eyes, they're reading and they're reading the wrong words. They're reading at a pace that's too slow. It makes that technology look stupid. And I think that was their other problem, that the technology they created isn't as great as they thought it would be. So now, well, how do we switch it? Then they switch it to, they said it being something based on lies. Then they said, okay, we can't use that because they said they wanted to change, my body so that if I'm hooked up to a lie detector, it wouldn't work. Well, why would I have to be hooked up to a lie detector? I think they're just trying to come up with a justification for stalking, harassing, and invading my privacy. And that's the point. So if you're going through this, please leave a comment. Somebody else left a great comment. I want to thank that person because they could hear the talking and it sounded like they were talking about crimes, which is what I think. I think this was all a big scam that turned bad when they tried to kill me. So thanks for watching. I did and everybody does that. Oh, an interpretation of the day. I'm going to say the interpretation of the day will be, what was it? There was something that they said. Let me think of something that they said that I'm going to interpret. What the heck? No, what the heck is that was my mom's idea. My, everybody does that. And the interpretation of the day is too corny. Again, if everything I do is so horrible, then you folks wouldn't want to be involved in it. So my interpretation of that is they dislike the fact that they're getting caught And they dislike the fact that instead of me staying quiet, I'm telling the world, and that isn't what they wanted. So I'm interpreting the fact that they're saying that I'm corny as their way of saying, we want to try to get you not to do that, because that means you'll shut up. You'll feel insecure. But I'm telling them, you have the wrong person. That's what they said. They said the personality assessment was based on the college boyfriend's idea of me and the elementary schoolmate's idea of me. And the personality assessment was that if they criticize me, I would stop doing it. When have I ever stopped doing something after being criticized? Both of them know I don't. Both of them know that. And that's what I'm saying. Where did this personality assessment come from? It couldn't have come from them. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment. I'll upload another video soon.